Frank and I were the ones they agreed to film, and they were like, who is she? Why does she have to be here? I told her that she works for me. They say, well, there's no deal with her. We're not going to film her. It used to be that Danielle Colby was the heart of American Pickers, but now she is on the defendant's bench in a murder trial that has shocked the whole country. As she got into trouble with the law, it was the biggest controversy in reality TV history. There was a complicated plan to blame Mike Wolf for killing Frank Fritz. What changed this well-known figure into a cold-blooded spy? Why was Frank Fritz the one who got hurt? She had been close to him for more than 10 years. When everything was over, why did Mike Wolf then say that Danielle was the real killer? We'll watch this movie to find out the whole truth and say a sad goodbye to Frank Fritz, a quiet legend. Danielle Colby went from being a witness to a murder suspect in court. Colby first showed up in court as an unwilling witness for the prosecution. She did her best to stay out of the fight between the two guys who used to be the face of American reality TV, bromance. But as the case grew and shocking new evidence came to light, her name came up as one of the people being looked into, which is what made the FBI step in. The month was December 2024. Mike Wolf, star of the TV show American Pickers, was on trial for murder in Davenport, Iowa. The courtroom was packed with people. Wolf was charged with killing Frank Fritz, who had been his co-host for many years and had died on October 1, 2024. At first thought it was a stroke, but later thought it might have been poisoning. The whole country was shocked, and it was even more shocking when Danielle Colby, who worked with both guys, was called as a key witness. The trial became a media firestorm because of her evidence, and the fierce arguments from both sides' lawyers. It also showed the worst parts of their three-way relationship. The investigation started all over again, after the FBI searched Mike Wolf's house in October 2024, and found Frank's journal, which gave hints about Mike's reason for killing, along with a neurotoxin vial hidden in a safe. Sarah Hargrove, the lead prosecutor and a criminal lawyer with more than 20 years of experience, said that Mike poisoned Frank to protect the American Pickers name and stop a financial lawsuit that was about to happen. Mike Wolf is more than just a TV star. Hargrove said that the death was first thought to have been caused by a stroke, but neurotoxins found in Frank's blood, encrypted text between Mike and Danielle Colby, and a 175,000.lar move, made people think that the murder had been planned. Danielle, who has known both guys for a long time, was a key witness. But something that happened out of the blue during her statement turned the case on its head and put her at the center of the investigation. Hargrove showed Danielle's text messages that were found on a backup server. They were written hours before Frank was found asleep. He's by himself now. No one is going to check on him until tomorrow. The window's shut. Mike responded, "That's all right. Please delete this thread." Hargrove said, "These messages show a well-thought-out plan to kill Frank Fritz. To protect the American Pickers business, Mike Wolf poisoned his friend with the help of Danielle Colby." Then she talked about the $175,000 that Mike sent to Danielle through one of his fake companies, and called it hush money. Leader of Mike's defense team was famous Chicago lawyer Jonathan Kessler. They fought back hard. The texts were taken out of context, he said, and they didn't show intent. He said the move was a real business deal that had to do with American Pickers accounts in other countries. Kessler said that Mike Wolf is the target of a campaign to hurt his image with lies. "We will show that Mike is not guilty, and Danielle Colby is being forced to speak against someone she has known for years." When the prosecutor said that a bottle of neurotoxin made for the military had been found in Mike Wolf's garage, the room fell silent. This is a chemical that is not allowed to be used by civilians. But Kessler fought back with tough calm. "Hi, Your Honor. My client is a professional antiques dealer. Our experts say that vial is from a medicine kit from the time of Walu Bak. There is no proof that it was opened, no sign of Frank Fritz's DNA, and no signs that it was most recently messed with. It's only a guess that it has something to do with the death. In the worst case, biased." He even sent in tax forms and pictures from 2016 that show Mike happily showing off his collection of old medicines in an episode that was later deleted. Mike likes history, not making poison. As the jury was still not sure what to do, Danielle Colby went back to the stand on the fourth day, her voice shaking and her eyes full of fear. With the help of lawyer Hargrove, she talked about how Mike's behavior changed after Frank left the show in 2021. When I told Frank I thought we should make up, he got mad and said, "I don't think he meant that." I became scared after Frank died though. She said she saw Mike bring a strange vial into the office for old archaeology, but didn't know it was poison. During the cross-examination, Kessler made fun of her trustworthiness. He talked about the more than 200 texts he sent to Mike during the week that Frank died, many of which were about Frank's medications and schedule. He asked, "Miss Colby, if you were so worried about the vial, why didn't you call the police?" He brought up the $175,000 deal, and the fact that she soon after bought a house in Puerto Rico as evidence that she had been paid to keep quiet. Danielle said, "I don't know about any plans. I'm telling Frank the truth about what I saw because I owe him one. That money was only for business." Then there was a slip. Hargrove asked Danielle if she had taken care of Frank's medicine the day before he died. After some thought, Danielle said, "I just checked to make sure he took the right dose. He forgets things sometimes. I was aware of what and how much he was taking." The room was filled with gasps. This meant that she knew the exact dose, which was in line with how the poison had been given. As Hargrove pressed Miss Colby, "How could you know the dosage unless you were planning to change it? Don't you remember telling Mike this?" "Hi, my name is Danielle, and I just wanted to help Frank." This unintentional confession led to a separate FBI probe into her possible role as the mastermind. It didn't end there. Mike Wolf took the stand after Danielle left. All charges were dropped against him, and the attention was turned to Danielle. His voice was filled with anger. "Frank wasn't killed by me." Danielle was crazy about keeping American pickers in line. She always said that Frank wasn't needed on the show, and that it would be better without him. "The ones you got, so no one would know how she was following Frank. She made me delete them." Mike held out. Danielle brought the bottle into the office and said that the $175,000 was for her to keep quiet about shady business deals that were going on behind the scenes. The shocking things he said made people in the courtroom and the public question Danielle's true intents. After less than 10 minutes, Judge Linda Mangrove dropped the news. "This court will not hear any more arguments from now on." Danielle Colby, a witness, is now officially being looked into as a second suspect in this murder case. After the most famous trial in history, Danielle was right in the FBI's sights, and they raided her home to find more proof. The FBI looked into it. After Mike Wolf's exciting trial in November 2024, where he was accused of killing Frank Fritz, the FBI turned their attention to Danielle Colby, who had worked with both men for a long time on American pickers. Danielle accidentally told the truth in court about how well she knew Frank's medications. This, along with Mike's claim that she was the real criminal, led Emily Rivera, the special agent in charge, to order a search of her home in Davenport, Iowa. The FBI got a search warrant for Danielle's property just 48 hours after the trial ended. They are experts in both murder and financial crime. The search took place early in the morning. A group of FBI agents and local cops blocked off Danielle's house and worked on her private office. She kept business records for American pickers there, as well as records for her burlesque troupe and vintage clothing shop. Agents found an encrypted hard drive in a hidden safe behind a bookshelf. It had surveillance video from cameras near Frank's house on the night of his death, October 1, 2024. The analysis proved, in what detectives saw as a deliberate attempt to hide evidence, Danielle got the video from the security company before it was given to the police. Agent Rivera said, "This is not the behavior of a witness who is not guilty." After being decoded and improved, the video proved beyond a reasonable doubt that Danielle was involved. A camera facing the street caught Danielle going to Frank's house around 10:30 p.m. on October 1st, just hours before their unconscious body was found. She was seen coming in through the back door with a small bag, and then leaving 15 minutes later. Image enhancement software confirmed that the bag had a glass vial inside that was the same as the one that held the nerve agent that was later found at Mike's house. What was even more damning was that Danielle went back to the security company at 2 a.m. and asked for a copy of the video for security checks, right before it was supposed to be delivered to the police. This explained why the first footage had strangely disappeared during the first investigation. A glass bottle that was exactly the same as the one found at Mike's house was found in a small wooden box in Danielle's bedroom. This was the key piece of evidence, similar to the kind of nerve agent that was used in Frank's medicine. Danielle's fingerprints and traces of the same poison were found on the bottle after it was analyzed by a forensic scientist. Even more damaging, Danielle's handwriting was on a note inside the box that explained how to mix the poison into Frank's pills and how much to give him. This directly went against what she said in court, that she had only quickly looked over Frank's medications to help him. Judge Sarah Hargrove, who was in charge of the case against Mike, started a new investigation against Danielle right away, saying that Colby may not just be an accomplice but also the planner. FBI agents also found proof that Danielle had faked the finding of the vile object at Mike's house to put the blame on him, who used to work in antique archaeology, told the FBI, but did not want to be named, that Danielle had asked him to bring a gift to Mike's house in late September 2024, just a few days before Frank's death. The worker confirmed that the gift was a small box that looked like the bottle that was described. Also, Danielle sent Mike a mysterious text after Frank died, which was shown by hidden messages. The jar is where it should be. Do not open it. Mike said not long ago that he didn't know what that bottle was. Danielle gave it to me and told me to keep it safe. From the start she set me up. The FBI is now looking again at Mike's statement, which they first thought was just him trying desperately to avoid taking responsibility. He has said over and over that he had nothing to do with Frank's death, and that Danielle was manipulating him and the show. During a follow-up questioning, Mike said that Danielle asked for the $175,000 payment to take care of her money problems. He didn't know it had anything to do with Frank's death though. The financial data makes people even more suspicious of Danielle. The FBI found that she had control over offshore accounts that got $3.2 million from shady American PICs. Just days before Frank's death, she took out $450,000 from one of these accounts. A thorough audit showed that Danielle put some of those funds into a personal account in Puerto Rico and bought a luxury home there right away after the event. Hargrove, the prosecutor, said Danielle Colby didn't just frame Mike Wolfe. She carefully thought out a way to get rid of Frank Fritz, take over the show's money and blame it all on someone else. She hid behind using feminist branding to hide a crime. The proof found in Danielle's house not only made the case against her stronger, but it also made it possible for Mike Wolfe's case to be looked at again. Even though he is still being charged with financial wrongdoing, the case has taken a big turn, and Danielle Colby is now the main suspect. The trial she is about to go through is sure to be very explosive, to keep Frank Fritz from talking to anyone else. The hit History Channel reality show American Pickers, which is about finding old things, used to center around the friendship between Frank Fritz, Danielle Colby and Mike Wolfe. As the main pickers, Frank and Mike traveled across America, and Danielle handled antique digging with a sharp sense of humor and style. The three of them gave off an air of closeness and family-likeness. However, there was a darker story going on behind the scenes around 2018. Frank was slowly being pushed off the show. Frank, Mike, and Danielle worked well together in the beginning. Frank Fritz and Mike Wolfe were like brothers because they both loved old things. In 2010 they built American Pickers from the ground up.